Welcome to 310 to Left, presented by New England Ford Dealers and F-Series, America's best-selling truck for 49 years and the official truck of the Boston Red Sox. Tom Caron with you here at our Nesson Studios. It was a late night as the Red Sox in Sacramento went extra innings against the Athletics and picked up their second road extra innings win of the season. 4-2 the game in 10. Had some drama. Bottom of the ninth, leadoff double for Lawrence Butler, who didn't bust it out of the box. Should have probably been a triple. He got stuck at second base. A bunt moved him to third. Aroldis Chapman dials it up and gets strikeouts for the next two batters to end that threat. Then Andrew Monasterio steps up and delivered an OPS over 1,100 in the month of July. Red Sox still haven't lost back-to-back games since June 30th and July 1st. Monasterio was the talk of the town in Sacktown for the Red Sox after the win. Jemai Webster spoke with him following that 4-2 win in extras.
Andrew, 428 feet. How do you describe what it feels like to be able to hit that two-run home run there for the team?
So my plan was like get him over, like trying to drive him in and get him over. So like I get ahead in the count 2-0. So and then I try to be aggressive. And I got the homer.
Sounds simple enough. Now, Suarez gave up the grand slam to Sedan after game one. That feel good? That wake you up?
Yeah, he's fine.
Suarez gave up the grand slam to Sedan after game one. What were you looking for information-wise, knowing that he was coming in the game and you'd be facing him in that spot?
I tried to get a good pitch. I tried to get a good pitch to get him over, try to drive, run me in. And I have to say, he was a good pitch 2-0, and I want to be aggressive, hit in front, and then I get a homer.
How impressive has it been to continue to watch Aroldis Chapman? After the leadoff double in the ninth, to see him bear down there, how significant was that?
That's amazing. Like I got the pleasure to saw his routine every day, and like it's amazing. So it's like an honor play with him, and also it's an honor play with Sonny Gray. Those guys, like they are better than in the league, and like. They you get those examples, like also Wilson just get his 10-year service, and like it's amazing. I'm trying to learn from them, and also trying to what I can get from there, try to get it to me.
What was going through your mind during the Butler double?
¿Qué estaba pasando por tu mente cuando Butler bateó ese doble?
Nada, tratar de sacar de out.
Nothing, just trying to get him out.
But I mean, when he actually hit it, you see the
Y estaba viendo la pelota.
Oh, nada, que yo pensaba que se iba.
I thought it was gone.
You did, yeah. We kind of this place kind of bring back bad memories too from last year.
Que si este lugar te trae como malos recuerdos del año pasado que aquí.
No, para nada. El año pasado fue el año pasado, me jodieron el juego, pero nada, eso pasa en cualquier estadio.
Yeah, last year was last year. I know what happened last year with when they scored a couple of runs, but that was last year. That's baseball.
How much is Monasterio meant for this team?
¿Qué tanto significa Monasterio para este equipo?
Y mucho, para todos los jugadores que están aquí es importante. Todos estamos tratando de hacer el trabajo y cada cual aportando lo de él y no hay un pelotero específico. Todos estamos para hacer el trabajo cada uno.
No, it means a lot. Not only him, every single guy in this clubhouse. Everybody's been great doing his part, and I can't single one out because they all been doing a great job during this season.
You've been in a lot of those situations during your career. To be able to bear down there and get Wilson, especially a guy who puts the ball in play, how significant was it, and how were you able to do it?
Que obviamente tú has estado en muchas situaciones como esa en el noveno inning, y más sobre todo con un bateador como Wilson que le gusta poner la pelota en juego, que cómo hiciste para mantenerte enfocado y para poder sacar ese inning así.
Nada, enfocado siempre trato de estar enfocado y solamente tratar de ejecutar buenos picheos y gracias a Dios salió todo bien.
No, you stay focused and try to execute pitch by pitch, and thanks God everything went our way.
Yeah. Pretty fired up coming up off the mound there in the seventh. How big was that spot for you?
Yeah, it was sick. I mean,
obviously, like you have the play with Mona at shortstop, and it's one of those deals like the resounding theme throughout this kind of stretch of good play that we've had is like something that everybody talks about in the post game is like keep picking each other up, and so whenever I was able to get that strikeout, I felt like a moment where I was like, yeah, like these guys swung the bat well for us like this entire stretch, and it felt like a moment where I was like, yeah, let me pick you up. Like nobody obviously wants to make an error. Like I don't want to give up runs, but it's our job as pitchers to pick those guys up when they do that, and it's their job to pick us up whenever we're not throwing the ball as well. So it felt really good to get that last punch out, and yeah, and again, it's nothing against Mo. I mean, he's come up to me like 7 times and been like, I'm sorry. I'm like, dude, it's okay. Like, errors happen. There's nothing bad about it. But, yeah, it felt really good to make that pitch in that situation and get out of it and just let them go and swing the bat.
Time now for our game plan for success, presented by MassMutual. Scan to learn more about their Grand Slam giveaway. Enter and see official rules at massmutual.com/Red Sox. We're getting close to the trade deadline. It's Monday at 6 o'clock. The Curtis Mead deal was made. Mead got 2 plate appearances. Mead now on the injured list with a fractured wrist. So what will the Red Sox do next? JP Ricciardi and Alex Speier join me on the pregame show to discuss. Without Curtis Mead available, if he is available at all by the end of the season, we will wait and see. What do the Red Sox do to replace the bat they thought they had added to this roster?
I think it's pretty clear that they're still going to be looking to add more power, and they had already been looking prior to Mead's injury, which happened 5 minutes into his Red Sox tenure, into the idea of upgrading their offense at either shortstop or catcher. So obviously, those interests will remain in play for them as they over the next few days leading up to the trade deadline. It's going to be really interesting to see which teams are actually moving catchers. There's been a lot of smoke, obviously, surrounding guys like Hunter Goodman of the Rockies, like Liam Hicks of the Marlins. Some conversations. There's the Ryan Jeffers question. I think that Ryan Jeffers would have been a really interesting fit for the Red Sox, but it seems like the Twins may now no longer be sellers. And then there's what are the Marlins doing? Are they going to make Otto Lopez available after they beat the Phillies? Are they now going to be buyers again? Things are swinging wildly as the trade deadline approaches.
Alex, are you surprised that there's been no trades outside of the Red Sox?
No, JP, because as you know, people just need that motivation of a deadline. They're trying to get their best offer on the table and trying to, I think that usually, except for maybe someone like Dave Dombrowski, who's willing to step out in front of the market, there's usually a lot of posturing that pushes people towards the end. But especially in this year's deadline, when there's so many teams that are a little bit uncertain about exactly where they're going to be standing, the Tigers having to make the decision about to sell Skubal or not. It's a bizarre one, JP.
But there's some teams that are really out of it already. The Giants, the Rockies. There's some teams that should be proactive. I'm really surprised that they're not moving players at this point.
Yeah, but those teams are probably aiming for the moon, right? And so teams are waiting for the prices to come down a little bit because the models, JP, are always going to say that just about any deal, save for maybe a need for need, is going to be one that's deleterious to a team that's selling prospects for short-term games. So I think we'll see a whole lot of stuff happening over the weekend, but it's I think that teams have been waiting to get through this kind of stretch of these series before they really pronounce themselves and define their interests.
You mentioned Tarik Skubal. If they trade him, this will have been today the last start he makes for the Tigers. And what a day. He pitched scoreless into the 7th and gave up 3 runs. Then the bullpen gave up 7 more as they lost to the Orioles in extra innings. If that's his last start with the Tigers, that's a tough way to go out of town.
Yeah, it's a really punishing potential final note for a guy like Skubal, who has been such a critical part of remaking what everyone could imagine as possible in that city after they had been beaten up so much in Major League Baseball for a number of years. So that would be a kind of sad final note, but also explains why it might be the final note, because obviously, despite the fact that is a loaded team, they have not managed to play up to their potential at all this year.
JP, if you're running the Tigers, do you trade Skubal?
I would trade Skubal, but, everybody has a shot now. That's the one thing that keeps you around. I mean, he's got probably, if you keep him, he's probably got another 10, 12 starts. So, you know, you're looking, if you can win 7 of those, it makes a difference.
Alex, before we let you go, we were talking about Franklin Arias before. How close to untouchable is he, or is he a guy they would dangle to get a big fish?
Dangle, I think they know they have to listen if they want to be involved in the very best players, long-term controllable, who are on the market. So if you want to talk about a Zach Neto, the Angels surely should start with Franklin Arias, and if the Red Sox are going to put him off limits, then those talks aren't going anywhere. So if you're able to acquire a long-term shortstop, that's the one circumstance in which you consider it.
3:10 to left is presented by your New England Ford dealers, who've been taking everyone out to the ball game at Fenway Park for decades. Catch Ford next time you're at Fenway, including in the Ford Clubhouse, a full-service bar perfect for bringing your lineup together and for recording our live edition of 3:10 to left. It's all brought to you by your New England Ford dealers and F Series, America's best-selling trucks for 48 years and the official truck of the Boston Red Sox. All right, this weekend, the WPBL season kicks off, the inaugural season of the Women's Professional Baseball League. 4 teams, one of them the Boston Hunters, and the manager of the first edition of the Boston Hunters is none other than 2004 World Series champion Keith Foulke. He joins us now. Foulke, tell us about this coming weekend, the first games, how this all came about. Congratulations on the new gig. Tell me about it.
Well, thank you for that. You know, I'm honored to be included in this PBL, inaugural season. They're bringing back women's baseball for the first time in 70 plus years. So it's kind of fun to be part of something historic again. And, spending the summer in Springfield, having a fun season and, going out there and actually getting the chance to manage some pretty good athletes play baseball.
Yeah, tell me a little about the approach to this. Now, again, in case people don't understand, you spent 4 or 5 years player development working with pitchers throughout the Red Sox system. So you've worked with young pitchers, young players working out. How much of that will translate, do you think, to what you're going to be doing here?
I think it's a great analogy. It's actually very similar. A lot of these women, they're playing on their national teams. They just finished a World Cup qualifier last week, so a lot of them are coming off some pretty high-level baseball. Some of them play in all kinds of leagues across the country, but it's the one thing that it kind of excites me about it is the ability to go out there and teach them how to take it to the next level. Take care of your bodies, work on the fundamentals and all that stuff. I don't need to teach them how to throw and play catch and all that. They do that very well, but it's going to be fun to go out there and just watch them. It's surprising. They know how to play the game, and they play it at a very high level.
We got to watch a little bit of them. I saw you down at Fort Myers, right? Spring training.
Yeah.
There were workouts going on. There was some scrimmages going on. The talent's pretty impressive, isn't it?
It really is. The one thing that really impressed me is some of the pitching. There's always, there's going to be different kinds of pitchers, but there's some of these athletes that can throw the ball really well. The hitters, there's some of them that can hit with really good power. Some of the arms I've seen in the infield and the gloves that they possess, I'm like, wow, this is a lot more than I was expecting. And so I think once we get started this weekend, we're going to have some high-level baseball, and the fans are going to enjoy it.
And, Foulke, what I loved, talking to the players back in the spring and watching them play, the passion they have for the game. I mean, they've played this game against all the odds, right? There hasn't been a professional league. There hasn't been an easy way. Everybody told them to go play softball when they were young, but they love the game of baseball. They stick with it. How cool is it now to be part of them finally getting the opportunity to play?
I mean, it's phenomenal. It's history making. It's probably been too long since this has happened. But when you mention that passion, even I was around it for 2 days down in spring training down in Fort Myers. But they ask questions. They want to know, how can I be better? What do you see? And when you kind of start to tell stories or get into why you do this, why do you do that, you look at them and they're like so engaged in what you're saying, and it's very rewarding to turn around and see that go out and take action on the field. It's like, God, they're hungry. They want to learn. They want to be better. And it's one of the things that has drawn me and made me want to be manager and be part of this league this summer.
All right, how's the arm? Do you throw batting practice now? Is that going to be part of it?
No, I actually have an assistant coach, Carvin, that she's been in pro ball for a number of years with a number of different organizations, at the pro level, and so I've gladly handed that off to her, and she does a phenomenal job. I just hang on the the batting cage and give them pointers.
You learn from the best. You learn from Terry Francona. Just stand there and then give a couple bits of advice here and there, right? That's what
a best manager dictates, and I'm there to manage people, not to throw a bat in practice.
All right, Lenny Donato said, I got to ask you, how much did you learn at fantasy camp that'll translate to this? Does anything you learned from the guys at fantasy camp help you get ready for this?
Actually, it does. And maybe not so much the men's camp, but coaching the women. Yeah. It's like you got to coach them a little bit different. You don't have to be I think the women are easier to coach. They don't complain as much. They don't whine as much. They take a lot more responsibility for, their actions. So learning from fantasy camp, I think has actually prepared me, and made me a better manager for this so far.
All right, Matt Williams, they're a young senior, two of the other coaches. So there's some major league experience around this game. That's kind of cool, isn't it?
Yeah, we had a managers meeting the other day, and the New York manager is Rocky. Can't remember her last name right now, but she's been around the game a long time also, and I think she's the one that makes us a little nervous. She's a fiery individual, and the experience that the managers are bringing to this game. It says a lot about what the ownership and the backers of the league have done to put this together. And we're really excited to get started. I think August 1st is the first game. And, we play a short season throughout the next couple months, and, it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, Rochelle Rocky Henley is her last name, and she's got coaching experience. All right, last but not least, what have you learned from these early days, again, back at spring training, watching these women play? What have you learned about it or about yourself, or, has it gotten you fired up about the game again? Because it's been a while since you played now, and you kind of get to, re-engage with the game. How exciting is it for you personally to do this?
Well, one thing I've noticed is my arm is not as in good a shape as it needs to be. I was trying to long toss a couple days ago, and my ball was barely getting to to my catch partner as they're, kind of rifling across the infield. But, just getting back into the game, it's something that I miss. I spent a long time away from it, and a couple years of player development kind of lit that fire a little bit. But it's just nice to be around players who want to learn the game, who want to play the game the right way, and to be part of something historic like this. It's a great opportunity for me.
All right, it's going to be fun to watch. Foulke, we appreciate the visit. Congratulations again on the new gig. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for having me. We'll see you guys this summer.
That's Keith Foulke, manager of the Boston Hunters. One of his players is the catcher, Beth Greenwood. She spoke with Nicole Menner, one of our broadcasters, for the Women in Baseball celebration game that's coming next Wednesday at Fenway Park. The Red Sox hosting their annual celebration of women in baseball. And Nicole has done a great job covering the Woo Sox on NESN. She will be hosting the pregame and postgame of that night. She spoke with Beth Greenwood, third pick of the Boston Hunters, the catcher for the team, about the upcoming season.
Joining me now is Beth Greenwood, a catcher for the Boston Hunters of the Women's Professional Baseball League. Beth, I can only imagine what your emotions are feeling like right now as this league gets set to take off this weekend. How excited are you?
Yeah, I'm incredibly excited. We just had our first practice, so first opportunity to kind of get to know some of my teammates and kind of just meet more of our coaching staff. And I think it's starting to kick in that it's going to be real. But I just can't imagine what it's going to feel like this weekend.
Yeah, I want to hear a little bit about your background in baseball, because I know that you fell in love with the sport when you were younger. You played in college, then you got into coaching, and now you get to play again. But tell me about your initial love for the sport.
Yeah, I grew up in New Hampshire, about an hour outside of Boston in Amherst, New Hampshire, and I just fell in love from a very young age, at the age of 5, playing in the backyard with my dad and my brothers. Ironically, they were never any good, and I was the one that kind of stuck with it. And I just loved baseball. My family never kind of pushed me to do anything else, and it was never anything against softball. But for me, it was always just about playing the sport that I love. and kind of having the support systems in place to continue to do that kind of through the hardships, but also through the successes as well.
Yeah, you mentioned softball, and I think we see so many young girls maybe make that switch to softball, but you didn't. Can you tell me more about that? And maybe you saw some of your friends switch, but you decided not to. So why was that?
Yeah. I mean, from a very young age, I remember the first time I ever was kind of pushed and asked why I wasn't playing. I remember being 8 years old and being told that girls didn't belong in baseball. And I think for me, it was just I loved the sport. And to me, they're vastly two different sports. And sure, they have similarities, but they are just different sports to be appreciated for different reasons. And so I think for me, just continuing to do what I love, and the more people told me, no, you can't do this, the more I just wanted to do it. I just wanted to do my thing, and I just wanted to show that I can do this thing that I love. And there's definitely a lot of women who are playing in this league who have played also softball, but I think they're kind of drawn back to the Women's Professional Baseball League just because their love for baseball is deeper. And I think for us, it was never, it has to be one or the other. I think also there's opportunities for girls in both, and that's what we want to be able to showcase.
And have you always been a catcher?
I have always been a catcher. Kind of that first time I remember being told no as a girl was we had a boy. I wasn't getting to play because there's only 2 girls on the team, and the coach at 8 years old didn't think we should be playing. And at 8, everyone kind of stinks. But we had a boy on the team who threw really hard, and none of the boys wanted to catch for him. And so I said, I'll catch. I just want to play. I just want the opportunity to be able to play and have fun with the game. And ever since then, I kind of never stopped catching. Caught middle school, high school, and then in college, which definitely gave me opportunities in college because as a catcher, even when you're not getting to start or be in the game, you can add a ton of value helping with the bullpen, helping with the pitching staff. And so I think that's really what helped me develop as a player and help my college team. And then beyond that, kind of what really kicked off my coaching experience as well.
That's awesome. Do you remember what your reaction was when you first learned that the WPBL was coming into play and that you would have this opportunity?
Yeah, I think for me, it was just shock because women's baseball has been something that I've been integrated in pretty much since I was 11 or 12 years old. And we've definitely grown astronomically since then. I remember the first time I was ever around other girls, there was 30, and I was like, wow, this is incredible. I didn't even know 30 other girls played baseball. And I just came from an event where we had 900 girls playing baseball. And so it's definitely grown, and we've known that it is a good product, especially when you see on the world stage in the Women's Baseball World Cup. I just wasn't sure if it was going to be in time for my playing career. I'm 26, and I didn't think it was going to happen this soon. I thought it was going to take a little bit longer, and so I wasn't sure if I was going to get that experience. So I think when I just found the announcement, me and my friends, we all play together, we were texting each other freaking out because we were like, holy crap, this is going to be in time for us, and we're going to be a part of this and kind of make this what it can become.
It seemed like there was a really big turnout for the tryout. So you have to tell me about that and what it was like to see so many women coming out for that and just what that camaraderie was like amongst all of you as you were, hoping to make a team and then obviously the draft came. But yeah, tell me about the tryout.
Yeah, the tryout was an incredible experience. Like I said, women's baseball has been a tight-knit community for a while, so we do know a lot of us know each other. But I remember at tryouts there being, I think it was over 500 or 600 women that were there. And I only knew a fraction of them, and I thought that was amazing. There were so many women from all over the U.S. who have been playing baseball or have had a lot of different experiences playing baseball, but also just the international pool that we had also at tryouts and the talent that we had was truly incredible. It was, yeah, I just don't have words for it. It was awesome to see, and I think it's something that we've all been like, there's demand for it, but just seeing the talent level and just the women showing up for the tryout and traveling as far as they had to get to Washington, D.C., I think was just the first step in like a very exciting journey.
And I'm guessing the draft felt like a bit of a pinch me moment too.
It was stressful, but as soon as my name was called, it was incredible. It didn't feel real. I had, my girlfriend and I had some of my close friends from college that were there to celebrate that moment with me. So that was pretty special too, because they've been there for a lot of steps in my journey, for the parts that were really good and for some of the struggle as well. So I think being able to share that moment with them was pretty incredible. And I was not sure where I was going to get drafted or where I was going to end up in the draft. And so during that third round, I was freaking out, really stressed. And, I was trying to do the math in my head of, okay, where have the other catchers been drafted to and what teams have catchers, who still needs catchers. And it was at that point that I realized Boston still only had one catcher on their roster. So I was like, okay, I have to go to Boston. And then also just being a kid from Southern New Hampshire, an hour outside of Boston, realizing that Boston's the team that needs someone. And then that actually happening was a dream come true and incredible.
So you're out there in Springfield now getting ready for everything. We just learned that who your manager is going to be, Red Sox legend Keith Foulke. What was your reaction to that?
Yeah, I mean, it was so exciting. I think, especially like I said, growing up a Boston Red Sox fan and a New England sports fan, finding out that it was someone who's kind of part of a very important and historic time in Boston, especially in Boston for baseball. I was super excited. I had the opportunity to meet him very briefly at our spring training event that we did back in March. Little did I know I was going to be working with him, but had the opportunity to meet each other in the bullpen. He was working with the pitchers and I was catching. But I'm super stoked for kind of just his experience and what he's going to be able to bring to this league. And we were chatting earlier today, and he was telling me, you know, even though he's got a lot of things going on in his life, he is so excited to be here, and it was really important for him to kind of be a part of this and help push this forward.
Super cool. We are definitely excited to see that. And I guess what do you want? What can you tell fans? What can they expect from this league? And what's the buzz like? What are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I think this league is for people. It's for everyone. It's for people who have been baseball fans for a really long time. I think women's baseball is absolutely the example of small ball. We have some women who definitely can hit a ton of home runs. If you anyone watched the Women's Baseball World Cup this last week, USA was hitting bomb after bomb. But at the same time, I think women's baseball is that small ball style of baseball where it's hit and run, get them over, just do your job. And so I think for people who enjoy watching baseball, that's really exciting. And then I think it's really exciting for people who haven't watched much baseball but are just really trying to get into women's sports. I think something super unique about this league is every single player in this league has had to go through a lot in life, and they've had to have a lot of kind of trials to get to where they're at and have a great story. So I think it's impossible to find a player in this league without a great story. And so I think that's just absolutely something for fans to fall in love with. There's someone for you to relate to. And even if it's not, baseball's not your thing, there's still a story that's applicable to kind of your life.
Has it hit you yet, just considering everything that you just said, has it hit you yet that you're going to be serving as such an inspiration for girls everywhere?
I think it's honestly not fully. I think that first game is going to be where it fully hits. We just had the largest girls baseball youth tournament this past week where I was helping work at Baseball for All, and we had over 900 girls at that event. And we did a signing for the players who were kind of, a lot of the coaches at this youth event are signed or drafted to the pro league. And so we did a signing for a lot of these girls, and we signed for over 2 hours. It was incredible. I think back to when I was younger and I used to practice my signature, and my friends would make fun of me, like, why are you practicing that? Like, you're not going to need that. What are you doing? And I was just thinking, like, signing for 2 hours, just how funny that is. I did need it, and it's pretty awesome, and it's pretty special. And I think just getting to take pictures with a lot of those girls and how excited they are, and just being able to see us, I think that's the biggest thing. I think if 12-year-old me got to see this women's pro league, I mean, I didn't stop playing, but I had a lot of friends who ended up for different reasons having to stop because of the pressures of life and being pushed to softball or just being pushed out of the sports completely, which is really unfortunate. And so I think if they had this pro league when they were 12, a lot of them would still be playing. And I think that's what's going to grow the sport right now. And that's what's super exciting.
Well, keep practicing that autograph because I'm sure you'll have many more to come. But we will be having, Women of Nesson will be having a watch party at the Sports Bra to cheer you guys on in your first game. So do you have a shout out for the fans here in Boston and all of New England?
Yeah, massive shout out to all the fans here at the Sports Bar tonight watching our first game. How incredible is that? Being a kid growing up an hour outside of Boston, super excited to have you guys root for us, and go Boston.
Beth, thank you so much. We're so excited to watch you, and good luck with this season.
Thank you, guys.
Welcome back to 3:10 to Left, presented by your New England Ford dealers. The draft has come and gone for baseball. The Red Sox stocking up on players they think will help them in the years to come. A definite North Carolina vibe over the early rounds of the draft. Tar Heel roommates and teammates Jake Schaffner and Owen Hull becoming the first 2 picks for the Red Sox in this year's draft. Last week, 5 of the top picks came to Fenway Park for the first time since becoming a part of the organization. Always fun to catch up with these young players as they dream about the start of their professional careers.
I mean, it's incredible. You know, it's always been a dream come true of mine to play a professional organization. And, you know, coming out here in Fenway Park, which I think is one of the most historic parks in the major leagues, it's just really a blessing, and it's so unbelievable, so cool.
What does it mean to you to be drafted by the Red Sox?
Oh, it means everything. I mean, like I said before, my dream when I was a little boy was to get drafted by a major league team and a very historic team, a very cultural team like the Red Sox. It's unbelievable. It's super amazing.
Has it hit you yet? Has this become real at any point, or was there a point in particular where you were like, okay, I'm a Red Sox, or I'm in this organization?
You know, I think it hadn't really hit me. I think when I first got down to Fort Myers and started playing with all those guys, it kind of hit me a little bit. And I think stepping down onto the field today, it kind of hit me a little bit too. Just, you know, seeing the Green Monster in person on the field, it's pretty cool.
How do you describe it?
I mean, I don't really have any words right now. It's huge, I guess, one word that comes to mind. But like I say, I mean, it's just crazy looking at it right now. It's super cool.
How cool is it to share this experience with Owen?
Oh, I mean, unbelievable. You know, Owen's one of my best friends. You know, he's one of the greatest baseball players I've ever played with. And it's just super amazing to have a buddy like that that can stay with me throughout the whole process. It's been awesome so far.
Were you guys roommates in college too?
I saw somewhere we weren't roommates, but he was over at our house a lot. I was at their apartment a lot, you know, so we spent a lot of time together.
Jake, how did that year at North Carolina help prepare you for this moment?
Oh, it helped me so much. You know, the whole coaching staff, they made me a better baseball player and a better human being. So, you know, I give it all to them. You know, they did such a great job of making me into a better man. And like I said earlier, a better baseball player, so just all credit to them. It was such an amazing year there.
When you got there, what did you think of kind of the training methods and what was it like getting used to that?
Yeah, you know, it was definitely a little different. We had a traject there, which kind of can simulate any pitcher that like we can ever face. So it was really cool getting a bunch of new, I guess, technology devices that I can use. It was super good and helped me out a ton.
How much does this all drive you now to one day eventually step out of that tunnel and be a member of the Red Sox playing here at Fenway?
Oh, I mean, so much. You know, actually coming onto the field here, you know, getting the call from the Red Sox saying I was drafted by them. Like I said so many times, it's been my dream ever since I was a little boy, you know. So I have so much drive and I'm ready to work as hard as I possibly can to get up here.
What do you know about the Red Sox fan base, or what did you know and what have you seen today that's kind of either verified or anything you learned new about Red Sox fans?
Yeah, so actually my host family last year were big Red Sox fans. You know, they took me to a game last year. It was incredible, super loud the whole game. But, you know, I didn't really know a whole lot about Red Sox fans. I mean, coming today, we walk around, it was packed with everyone. And especially with all the rain like that, it's just crazy seeing all fans swarming everywhere. So it's been amazing.
Jake, you're a contact first hitter. Your in-zone contact rate is some of the best in college. How do you think that's going to transfer in the minors in the Red Sox?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully I can keep doing that. You know, I've always kind of taken pride on bat-to-ball skills. It's always been a huge part of my game. And obviously I'm going to keep training at it, trying to get better and better every day at it. And hopefully I can keep not swinging and missing very often.
What's your family saying?
I've talked to them a couple of times. You know, I have so much love for them. You know, they brought me in last summer and did such a great job of taking care of me and kind of showing me the ropes. So, you know, it's been great to kind of have this journey with them, especially because they live right around here in the Cape. So it's super cool.
What did that experience do for you?
So much. You know, playing in a wood bat league like that against some of the best pitchers in the country. It helped me out, prepared me a lot for North Carolina. And I think the coaching staff there, too, you know, really prepared me a lot. And just different drills, kind of how the Power 5 programs train a little bit.
What's the plan for playing in some games, maybe, moving forward?
You know, I don't really know a whole lot yet. I'm kind of starting to get my feet wet down in Fort Myers, you know, just hopping in drill. We started doing real baseball stuff on Friday.
Nice.
So I'm kind of just getting my feet wet there, and I don't really know the plan yet. We're hoping to play some games soon. I don't really know, but that'd be pretty cool.
Jake, did you call or text Owen when he got drafted?
I FaceTimed him right away. I think my family had more of a reaction for him getting drafted than me, so it was pretty cool to see it. You know, like I said earlier, he's one of my best friends, so definitely had to FaceTime with him soon after.
Feels great. Dream come true. Ever since I was a little kid, wanted to be here, and I couldn't be more excited for this opportunity.
When you walk down the aisle, kind of step onto the field, what does that feel like for you?
Feels amazing. It feels like home already. Hopefully I can work my way up here soon, and I'm excited for this game tonight.
What would it mean for you to one day play here as a member of the Boston Red Sox?
It'd be awesome. They got a winning culture here, and I'll do whatever it takes to help the team win.
How cool was it to be drafted by the same team as Jake?
Oh, it's a great feeling. He's my best friend from Chapel Hill, and yeah, we've been rooming together a lot so far, and I couldn't have asked for a better roommate, and, you know, it's a built-in best friend, so I'm happy he's here as well.
Owen, your mom's from Maine, so what were the emotions like to get drafted by a team you grew up watching?
Yes, so my grandma's from Portland, Maine. She lives on Scarborough Beach now, and it means so much. I mean, she's so close to the Sea Dogs, the AA team, so hopefully I can work my way up there and get to see her more often.
When Jake got drafted, were you thinking, oh, you know, maybe I'll be next? you think that go through your mind at all about the Red Sox, going to the Red Sox?
Yeah, I was so excited when I saw Jake get picked up. It's a dream of his to come here too, and it's pretty cool to be a part of this with him and go through this experience with him.
I mean, did you envision that maybe the Red Sox would take you next after that?
It's part of God's plan. So I mean, shoot, it's pretty cool that it did work out that way.
What did you know about the Red Sox growing up and everything as you watch them play?
They win a lot. Yeah, they love to win, so I love to win too.
Unreal. Not a feeling like I've ever felt before. Definitely so thankful my family's here. Haven't seen them in a week, but just getting the opportunity to be on this beautiful field with all these beautiful people, I'm so thankful for it, and so blessed I had this kind of opportunity in my life. So.
When you put the jersey on, the hat on, I mean, did it make it more real? Obviously, getting the call.
It was crazy.
I'm sure, but
yeah, it was
what
crazy.
Was it like to go put that on?
It was unreal. Like I said, just getting the opportunity to put a big league jersey on, a big league hat, and just getting the opportunity to take pictures in the press box up there, and like I said, not a feeling I've ever felt in my life before. So it's unreal. Like I said, blessing. So
when you got drafted, and there's slot, and there's bonuses, and there's college versus going pro and NIL and all those things, how did you decide this is the decision?
Definitely just getting the opportunity to play baseball every single day. Like obviously I'm a northern kid, and if I went to college I still would have played baseball every single day, but I mean if you go professional baseball, you're developing in some of the best programs in the entire country. So that's just where I wanted to put myself these next years of my journey, and just develop as a player and a person. So yeah, it's super glad with the decision I made. So
you, Caleb, and Lefebvre,
Martin?
Yeah,
Sheelar? Yes.
Martin Sheelar, yeah. 3 high school kids,
yes.
Way over slot.
Mm-hmm.
What is it like being part of kind of like a trio that's the signature of this class?
Yeah, so I actually grew up playing with Caleb.
Oh, okay.
So I grew up playing for the Minnesota Blizzard with him.
Yeah.
So I know him, he's one of my best friends. And then obviously meeting Martin. Martin's one of the nicest human beings I've probably ever talked to. But just being those 3 high school players that give the opportunity to come here and see everything and meet so many great people, just continuing our journey with them, it's really nice to have another high school player there by my side. So yeah, super grateful for them, and they're great human beings. So
When did you first start playing with Caleb?
I think probably when I was 11 years old. So he's actually from Iowa and I'm from Wisconsin, but we played for a Minnesota team. So he got into it I think when he was 11 and I was 10. He joined my team and we just grew up playing with each other. And yeah.
As far as deciding your career path, you were also an excellent basketball player, and I understand your mom was pretty good back in her day. So how did, baseball, how did you determine that was the best path?
Yeah, so probably I was 100% basketball growing up until probably was 15 years old. But when I was 15 years old, I kind of started eating right and really taking care of my body and starting to develop more and mature more. And I guess I kind of saw more success in baseball and not really basketball. Basketball kind of lagged behind baseball. So those roles kind of flipped where baseball took the front seat and basketball kind of took the back seat. But I still love basketball. Played it all the way up until my senior year of high school. I was actually debating on quitting so I could focus on developing in baseball and becoming a baseball player and just, becoming a better baseball player. But super glad I played my senior year and, love both those sports. So it's awesome.
It's pretty incredible. I mean, a lot of swing of emotions on draft day, but getting to meet all the people, getting to meet all the draftees, great coaching staff, great fan base and field, of course. I'm just looking forward to working through the program.
What's it like being here for the first time, just kind of walking at Fenway Park?
It's unreal because, it's as a baseball player, it's like a historical thing. You see it in books, you see it online, but just to kind of be here for the first time, I'm a Braves fan, but I've heard about Fenway, all this stuff. My favorite player is Ted Williams, all these things. It's really cool.
All the talk about Mississippi State and everything. How curious were you to see how things were going to go on draft day?
I know after day one it was definitely leaning towards Mississippi State, but I knew MLB was still on the cards just because a lot of teams were still interested in me. But I was Mississippi State through and through, and then the Red Sox came with an offer I couldn't turn down, and I'm just looking forward to being part of the program.
Go ahead, Ian.
You have a reputation for long home runs.
Yeah, of course I do.
You look around this park. How much does your imagination kind of run wild?
Oh, it'll definitely play. It's funny. Back in probably 16U, I did a little showcase thing over at JetBlue, same dimensions and everything, and I was launching balls. So I can't even imagine 2 years older and a little bit more time to develop, man. I'll be hitting some balls pretty far here.
What are the Red Sox getting, and you as a player?
I mean, they're getting a really good power bat, a guy that runs really well. I think that's what makes me unique is I, hit for power, but I also have the ability to make good bat-to-ball decisions, swing well, and run well on the bases.
Following up on the Mississippi State thing, you're one of 3 high school guys here who got way over slot. What's it like kind of getting to know these other 2 and being, a little trio in this draft class of guys who fit that description?
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool because it's like you meet people that you've never been around before. I'm always kind of been in the Georgia bubble for most of my life, but getting to be around other talent, getting to be around guys that are that want it just as badly, but to also kind of get to go up through them, kind of see their development, they get to see your development, and they pick you up when you're feeling down and all those sorts of things, and you kind of just work through a program together.
You take pride in like your all-around game. You hear about the power, but
yeah.
What about the other things that you?
100%. Yeah, no, I mean, like all of high school, I was playing center field, and I think the biggest area of development for me is going to be outfield defense. And I mean, there's no better place to learn. It's about as hard to defend in the outfield here as anywhere else. Funky dimensions, but I'm looking forward to being a part of it. Fort Myers and all the other affiliates have really good development. The coaches are great people, great guys, and I'm just looking forward to getting to work and kind of figuring stuff out.
When did you adopt Ted Williams as your favorite player?
Read The Science of Hitting growing up. It was the first ever baseball book I ever read. I know for me, I just kind of grew up just swinging in the cages, just trying to figure it out myself that I needed to turn to somebody else to learn how to hit. Already had always heard about The Science of Hitting and opened it up, and it was probably the best book I've ever read because it made me just kind of look at hitting development a little differently and try to develop that way.
And how old were you?
Probably 10.
That's really weird for 10-year-olds,
Very,
right?
very weird. Yeah.
Who introduced you to that? You said you always heard of the book. A parent or a coach, or who told you about that book even?
A little bit of both. It was my parents that kind of recommended it, but I also honestly just walked into a half-price bookstore, and it was the first thing I saw, and it kind of fit well. And I opened it up, and it's been the best book I've ever read. It's kind of set the course of my career.
3:10 to left is presented by your New England Ford dealers who've been taking everyone out to the ball game at Fenway Park for decades. Catch Ford next time you're at Fenway, including in the Ford Clubhouse, a full-service bar perfect for bringing your lineup together and for recording our live edition of 3:10 to left. It's all brought to you by your New England Ford dealers and F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 48 years and the official truck of the Boston Red Sox. Welcome back to 3:10 to left, presented by New England Ford Dealers and F-Series, America's best-selling truck for 49 years and the official truck of the Boston Red Sox. This used to be a one Jemai town, but there's room for multiple Jemais, and now the Red Sox and Nesson together kind of lead the league in Jemais. Jemai Jones, acquired from Detroit on July 14th for a player to be named later, brought in so he can impact the offense, especially against left-handed pitching, and he has done that since joining the team. The two Jemais sat down for our latest edition of Anything But Baseball.
First off, who's the most athletic Jones?
Oh, I'm by far going myself. I'm going to double down on that. Everybody in my family knows. I'm doubling down on it.
That's amazing. I love the confidence. What's your ethnic background? Because you have some multiple things going on, right?
Yeah, I do. So my mom was born in Seoul, South Korea, and then my dad is Black and Irish.
Oh, wow. Okay, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Morning person, night owl?
Night owl.
What's the last show you binged?
Last show I binged? What is the last show I binged? Like a true binge?
Yeah, binge. You sat down and just went crazy.
Peaky Blinders.
Oh, that's a good one. I love the little Peaky Blinders.
Such a good show.
What's the first thought on your mind usually when you wake up?
Where's my daughter?
That's your only kid, right?
Our only kid right now.
Right. Okay, yeah, that's a good one. What's the app you use most on your phone?
Unfortunately, I think it's probably Instagram.
What's your current obsession that's not baseball?
I love cooking.
Oh, okay, man. I love it. What do you cook best?
My wife and I, we had some of our close friends over. It would have been last off season. We kind of get everybody together and we'll do like a kind of like a big dinner party.
A little potluck.
A little bit of a potluck. We did like a sushi night. So, and then I think one of the other nights did like handmade pasta and everything.
Handmade. Oh man, listen, you're a chef, man.
I'm trying to be.
I tell you what. What's a food to keep with the theme that you'll be able to eat for the rest of your life daily if you had to?
Korean food, not even a question.
Oh yeah, you like a little kimchi?
Oh, everything.
Oh man, I love to hear it. If you had to teach one class about something that you have mastered, what would that be?
I think I'm gonna go public speaking.
Okay.
I think I'm not, I don't know if I've ever met a stranger, to say the least. And I think those who know me really well would probably say the same thing. I'm very comfortable public speaking, talking to crowds, talking to people I've never met before, and forming relationships. So
Wow.
I think that's where I would stem.
Well, that's what happens when you have such a strong name.
Yeah.
I mean, what else would you be able to do?
Exactly.
Last one for you, Jemai. When do you most feel at peace?
I think when I'm just hanging out with my family. My wife, my daughter, my siblings, my mom, like close friends. I think those moments are where I feel the most at peace, especially now with having my daughter. I feel like the times that I get to just take a slow moment with her are the times I think I'm going to look back on in my life where it's just nothing else matters. I'm just hanging out with, my daughter, my wife, my family, and my friends. Like those moments I think are the blissful moments.
Yeah.
Nothing else matters. You don't think about anything. There's no worries. It's just you're in the moment with the people you love.
Very well said. That's a great place to escape.
Yeah.
And a great place to end this right here. Jemai, it's been an absolute pleasure.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on, man. And best of luck the rest of the way.
All right, Red Sox are back on the road. They will head to the Dodgers this weekend to wrap up the month of July and play the final games before the All-Star break. Over the All-Star break, the players who didn't go to Philadelphia for the Midsummer Classic scattered to vacation spots all around. Garrett Whitlock spending time on the North Shore, spending time at the beach, trying to keep his throwing program going, and to do it, he enlisted a former high school player. Warren Adams is his name, recently graduated from Rockport High School. He could grab his glove in time to help Whitlock stay tuned up for the second half. Here's his story.
I look up, oh my gosh, that's Garrett Whitlock. When we pulled into the parking lot, we saw all the parking guys there, and I was like, all right, they look athletic. Maybe like one of them played baseball or something like that. And so went up to the parking hut, and I was like, hey, anybody play baseball here or whatever? And one of the guys was just like, oh my gosh, like, you're Garrett Whitlock.
There was just one problem with this chance encounter.
He was like, hey, you bring your glove? And I said, no, I can go home and grab it. We got like all set up on the beach, then I walked back up and I was like, hey man, did you find your glove and everything? He's like, yeah, I went home and got it.
Once they got down to business and began throwing, Warren came to a quick realization about catching a major league pitcher.
A little scary, a lot of movement on the ball. It's a lot different playing with from playing with high schoolers, and he was at like 60%, he said, and it was coming in pretty fast.
Yeah. Yes, he went. That's strike three.
After the session, Warren thought it might be a good idea to recruit some of his old baseball teammates to help out and share in the experience.
Are you coming back tomorrow? I was like, yeah, I need to throw again tomorrow. He's like, hey, you care if I bring some of my guys or whatever? I was like, yeah, of course. We were all in shock. Like, it doesn't happen often where you get to play catch with a Major League Baseball player.
The next day we show up and it was like probably 7 or 8 of the Rockport High School baseball team. But it was great, just kind of playing catch with them, and they were swapping off who we were throwing with.
He was just like a normal human being. Like sometimes you think, oh, these guys are they're big leaguers, maybe they'll just have an ego, and he was so normal. Talked with us for a half hour after we played catch and talked about the Sox and how they were doing and everything like that, and it was kind of surreal.
Warren, shout out to you, my guy.
It made my month, maybe even my year.
All right, that does it for 310 to Left, presented by your New England Ford dealers. Don't forget, we are back with you next Tuesday. That'll be the day after the Major League Baseball trade deadline, and we will wrap up everything the Red Sox did, didn't do, and what other teams did as they all try to improve their hopes of October baseball. Going to be a busy weekend. Stay with us throughout the weekend for late night baseball and the latest on any trades that are done. But for all of us here at NESN, I'm Tom Caron. Thanks for watching 310 to Left, presented by New England Ford Dealers and F-Series, America's best-selling truck for 49 years and the official truck of the Boston Red Sox. We'll see you again next time.